Welcome, amazing subscribers and viewers to Accounting Simplified, where we teach business owners on how to make smart decisions to help their profits grow. If this is your first time to this channel, I would like to say a very big welcome. You're welcome to Accounting Simplified. And for our returning subscribers, you guys are the bomb. I love you. Lots of love I'm sending from here. Lots of hugs. Thanking you for supporting this channel. As you're adding support to this channel, God will continue to bless you abundantly. Add more pepper to your soup, add more salt to your soup, add more maggi to your soup so that your soup will become the tastiest of all soup in town. Wow, today I have a very amazing topic for us, business owners. Today I'll be guiding you on how to know how many units you need to sell before you begin to make profit. Most times, most people are just selling, but they are not sure how many units they need to sell before they make profit. And that is why I have brought this video together for us so that we can be educated and enlightened and begin to make smart decisions in our business. If this sounds like what you would like to learn to help your business grow, grab yourself a cup of water and just relax as we dive into the proper topic for today. All right, welcome to the talking about break even points. Like we know in accounting before, we don't like to use so much jargon. So let me simply explain and break down what that term means. Break even point simply means the point at which you're supposed to sell the number of products you ought to sell so that you can begin to make profit. That is what break even point is, the point at which you're able to sell and then you're not making profit, you're not making loss. That is a break even point. It's like an equilibrium point. You're not making loss, you're not making profit. You're able to cover all your costs. So I'll be guiding us today on how to know how many products we need to sell, how many units of our product do we need to sell before we can say yes, I've covered all my costs at this point, and now after now the next product I sell will be real profit. So let us jump into it properly. Now, what is break-even point? I've explained what break-even point is, but let me just recap again. It's the point at which the number of items your business must sell to cover all your costs. Remember in our previous class, I've talked about costs, where we have direct costs and our other business costs, which is also known as other operational costs. The actual accounting term for that cost is your fixed cost or your overhead cost. But because we are about eliminating all jargon and making life easier for business owners, I decided to use the term other business costs. So the point at which you're able to cover all your costs, both the direct costs of purchasing that product and every other cost you incur to purchase and keep that product in its sellable condition, and the cost you incur for you to run your business, all those costs, your business should be able to cover those costs. Now, when you're able to sell the number of units that will enable you cover all those costs, then the next item you're going to sell will now be your profit, because you have recognized and covered all your costs, which is the first thing. Now, there's a simple formula to getting the number of units you need to produce, or rather getting knowing the number of units you need to sell before you're able to start making profits. Now, we've explained what break even means. Let's jump right in giving you the formula so that you can be able to calculate it by yourself. Now, the formula is this. Now, your fixed cost, which is your total running cost. And like I said earlier on, if you don't know what total running cost is, please check my previous video when I talked about costs. I talked about it in details, but let me just give you a brief recap. Fixed cost is every cost you incur for you to run your business, whether you're selling or you're not selling, like your rent, your light bill, utility bill, everything that enables you to stay in the shop to do your business properly is your fixed cost. The salary you pay is part of your fixed cost. The rent you pay is part of your fixed cost. If you're someone that must eat in the shop, food will be part of your fixed cost. So any cost you incur that enables you to run your business on a very normal day. If you're someone that you must buy for because you're not trusting generator or because you're not trusting EUDC, then purchase of fuel is going to be part of your fixed cost. Are we together? So every cost you incur that enables you to run your business, whether you're selling or not, just for you to run the business normal, that is your fixed cost. Now the next item we need to know is your selling price. And like I said earlier, when I've explained in my previous video how to get the actual selling price, the right selling price that you should sell your product. If you don't know that, please check my video where I showed you how to determine your actual selling price. So selling price is the price you want to sell your product after you must have added your profits and considered all your costs. Now the next item we need to know is what is the cost per item. That is, what is the purchase price? How much did you buy this product from your supplier? Each item. If you bought them in bulk, it will be cheaper. You will now divide the number of items by the total amount of money you paid to get the cost for each product. Now let me give you a practical example to enable this dive in properly into our understanding. Now let's say you sell perfumes and you say, okay, I will sell my perfume for 4,000 naira because my cost of purchasing the perfume is 2,005. So let's say I went to my supplier and I bought packs of perfume from him, and the cost of each perfume is 2,500. Now that is the cost per item. Now what is my fixed cost? I have a shop that I've bought and I stay in that shop, and I also pay for utility bill. That is my light bill. I must incur my light bill because I cannot be in a place that does not have light. I also purchase my fuel. I also eat food every day. Now let's assume that the total cost of all of these costs that I must have to run my business, that is the rental cost, purchase of light, purchase of fuel, purchase of food. I'm making an assumption. If everything costs 50,000 naira, that is my word total running cost. I'm just giving you an example. Your own total running cost might be different, but every other cost you incur to enable you run your business, whether you sell or not, is what is going to make up your running cost. Now if I assume that total of all these costs for me is 50,000 naira every month, now I want to ask me, how do I calculate my rental cost? For instance, check my previous video where I explain how to calculate your rental cost. Even if you pay 1 year rent, you should be able to calculate your monthly cost. So if you get your monthly rental cost, you add that to the cost of fuel, cost of light, cost of food, and let's assume everything cost us 50,000 naira. Now I want to know how many units would I sell for me to cover all my costs, for me to break even. Are we together? I'm going to get these three prices, these three records. I have to know what is my selling price. I have to know what is the cost per item. I have to know what is my total fixed cost. Now that I've gotten all these items, now I said that the selling price is 4,000 naira. That's the price of each perfume I want to sell. Now it cost me 2,005 to buy them from my supplier. One. And my fixed cost is what? 50,000 naira for the month. Now, for me to calculate my break-even point, the first thing I need to calculate is my profit. And if you don't know how to calculate your profit, then watch my previous video where I showed you how to calculate your profit in 1 minute. Check that out. You will see that video so you can learn how to do this. Now, the cost of my selling price less my cost per item is what will give you my profit in this scenario. But how to calculate actual profit, I've already explained that in my previous video. But for this particular lecture, this particular explanation, for you to know our break-even point, you're going to pick the cost per item, the selling price per item, and the cost of the item per item. So the purchase price of my perfume is 2,005. Now the selling price is 4,000 naira. So that means my profit is what? 4,000 minus 2,005. That will give me what? 1,500. Now 1,500 is my profit. Now for me to calculate my break even, I need to get my total running cost. And I said the total running cost here is 50,000 naira. That is the cost I incur every month to run my business, whether I sell or I don't sell. It is a norm, it is a cost that is a standard cost I incur every month. Now I will divide my profit by my total fixed cost, total running cost. So that will be 50,000 naira divided by 1,500, which is the profit. That will give me what? 34. So it means that I need to sell 34 bottles of perfume before I can begin to make profit. After I've sold 34 bottles of perfume, I would have covered all my costs. And after having covered my costs, I will now begin to what? Enjoy the profits. You cannot be covering, you cannot tell me you're making profit when you've not taken into cognizance your costs, when you've not covered your costs. Mind you, profit can only occur when your selling price, when your sales at the end of the particular period is more than the total cost you have incurred. And so therefore, you can only say you're making profit when you've covered your costs. So after I'm able to sell 34 bottles of perfume, my costs have been covered, and therefore I will now begin to make profits. Please, if you're getting value for your time, consider subscribing to this channel so that you can learn more useful tips, because I bring useful tips, practical tips that would help you grow your business. Most people are in business and they are just selling, but they are not making profit, and that is because you don't know your numbers, and I'm here to guide you on how to know your numbers. Now, this is extremely important for every business owner. You must know when you're making real profit. You should stop guessing your selling price, stop guessing if you're making profit or not. Making profit in business is actually about keeping records. You must keep accurate record to be able to calculate and determine if you're making real profit and you're not making loss. You're able to know, okay, yes, my sales target for the month is what? 45 units or 50 units. Why? Because you already know how much is your sales per day, how much is your total running cost, how much is your cost per item, and you know how many units you need to sell before you start making profit. So business owners, stop guessing. Know your numbers and be in charge of your business. Begin to make real profit. Let the fact that you go to work every day to sell your product begin to make sense to you. Why? Because you know your numbers. You cannot understand your business if you're not keeping records. And that is why I emphasize the need of keeping record of all your transactions, because they will help you to know whether you're truly making profit or loss. The fact you're receiving cash every day doesn't mean you're making profit. So you must know whether you're making profit or not. Now, I would like to give each and every one of us a very simple assignment. I would like you to tell me how many units do you need to sell before you begin to make profit. I also like to know how much is your selling price. You should tell me how much is your selling price. After, you must have given me the cost of your fixed cost, which is your total running cost. What is your direct cost? That is the cost you incur to purchase your items directly. And also what is your intended margin. That would also guide you in knowing what is your selling price. So you must tell me what is your selling price. I would like to know what is your cost per item. I also like to know what is your total monthly fixed cost. With this, you'll be able to see whether you're making profit or you're not making profit. See, if you want to run your business with confidence, you must know your numbers. There is no hiding about it. You must know it because it is your business. You're there to make profit, not just to come out every day and say you're making sales. The question is not, are you making sales? The question is, are you making profits? That's what you ask yourself every day. Is my selling price the right selling price for my products? Are there ways that I can minimize my cost so that I can make more profit? These are the questions you'll be asking yourself as a business owner. Don't forget to like, share, and follow Accounting Simplified for more smart business learning lessons. And if you like what you're learning, please kindly share these videos with others so that you can add value to their lives. Remember, knowing your numbers is the pathway to growing your business. This is Accounting Simplified. We're calling it a wrap for today. I want to thank you so much for making our time to spend and watch today's video. I believe that your time has been well spent.